Hello, it's me, Meep Moop. So as you can see from the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about why I'm not auditioning to be a Toronto subway musician this time around. I was a subway musician from 2019 to 2023. This says 2022 to 2023 because they actually gave us an extra year because of COVID, which was really nice of them. But yeah, so the reason I'm making this video is to give you guys an idea of what it's like being a musician down there, whether you're auditioning or you're just curious. And the other reason I'm making this video is in an attempt to spark some change. We'll see how far I get with that. I don't know. But yeah, I have no regrets auditioning in 2019. It was a very nice opportunity. I was grateful for it. And I got to meet a lot of cool musicians who I still talk to today. And I had a lot of positive experiences with passerbyers and TTC workers. Some of you guys might have even discovered me through the program, so that's really cool as well. But I do have some criticisms, which I'm gonna be talking about today. Keep in mind, these are not Meep Moop specific criticisms. I've talked to other musicians about these things, and we all agree that there is room for improvement, you know? So yeah. I'm gonna be starting with the smaller stuff and then talking about the more serious stuff. So the first criticism I wanted to talk about was with the rule that singers are not allowed to use microphone. As most of you know, I am a singer, and I've had countless people come up to me when I'm playing and say, "Hey man, you're a little bit quiet. You need to sing louder." And I physically could not do that. I just naturally have a quiet voice. So the reason the rule exists is because of volume, and the reason that doesn't really make sense is because, one, there are plenty of instruments louder than the human voice, for example saxophone, and two, guitarists are actually allowed to amplify their sound. So if they can do it, why can't we do it, you know? I actually sent them an email about this. They never got back to me, which is fine. I guess maybe they were busy. But man, I did my research. I included a bunch of videos of singers in other countries using microphones in the subway, and my argument was, if they can do it, why can't we do it, you know? But who knows? Maybe they'll change that rule in the future if any TTC people are watching this.
Sir, why did you
not send a follow-up email?
Because I'm an idiot. Happy?
Another point, oftentimes subway musicians are like kind of bothered down there, and just to be clear, by bothered I don't mean people coming up to me and being like, "Hey man, how long have you been playing for?" or "Hey man, can you play this song for me?" I have no problem with people like that. That's totally cool. By bothering, I mean people that come up to you and they're like, "Oh, you're my soulmate. We should be together." So that's one thing that's kind of a bit of a challenge to deal with. Along with this, subway musicians actually have designated spots where they're supposed to play. There are these black mats set up, and every now and then you'd have an unlicensed musician or just like a random person just chilling in that spot. When that happens, you have two options. You could either leave, or you could try confronting them. Normally I do the former, but I guess there was one day I was feeling a little bit bold. This was at station. There was a man in the spot. He was panhandling. You internet people, I know how you are. I'm not saying all panhandlers are bad. So I go up to this guy hoping that maybe he'll be reasonable, and I ask him if he'd be willing to go up the escalators to another area so that I could play in the musician spot. And his response to me, he was very grumpy. His response to me was that I should go to Finch Station and play there instead. Finch Station is not close, so it's just crazy to me that in his mind it made more sense for me to carry my guitar, my amp, a lot of the heavy stuff that I'm carrying, and go all the way to Finch, as opposed to him going up the escalator. But yeah, anyways, by chance I actually knew that my friend was playing at Finch Station, and I told the panhandler this. So he asks me who my friend is. I tell him who my friend is. He tells me that he's also his friend and that he's also a licensed musician, but that he just forgot his license at home. Now, I'm a naive person, but I knew this guy was saying some stuff that was not true. I went along with it anyways because calling someone out on their bullshit usually leads to conflict. So I went along with it, asked him what he played. He said he played guitar, and then he realized that he didn't have a guitar with him, and he tells me that his guitar was stolen. And yeah, I ended up bantering with this man for like 20 minutes, and eventually he did get up and go upstairs, which was cool, and I got to play there. Later on that day, I messaged my friend that was at Finch and asked him if he knew this guy, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I know that guy. He's not a musician." No surprises there. But yeah, that's just another thing. No one really does anything about it. I understand why the TTC workers don't get involved, because if they do, they'd be putting themselves at risk. And that brings me to my next point, which is safety. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, what? Safety? Meep Moop, you're jacked, you're deezed, bro. What concerns with safety do you have? That's me being ironic. I'm barely 100 pounds. More recently, I would only play with a duo partner, but I have another story for you. There was one time I got there before my duo partner, and I decided, you know what, he's gonna be here soon. Well, where's the harm in playing 10 minutes alone? So I started playing. This was at Bloor Station, and after a few minutes, this dude comes up to me. Immediately get bad vibes from him. I don't know if this is offensive to say, but like, you can tell someone does drugs by just looking at them sometimes. And this guy So he comes up to me and he asks me for money. And in my head, I'm like, if you're gonna use this money on drugs, like, no, I'm not gonna enable you to ruin your life. So I told him no. I didn't say it like meanly or anything. I said it empathetically. I think I said, no, sorry, I can't today. And his response was to reach into my guitar case, grab a $5 bill and walk away. And I know what some of you internet people are thinking. Oh, don't be a little sissy, meep moop. What's the big deal? It's just $5. You didn't get hurt. I agree with you. I agree with you, but I was still shook. This was the first time I had ever been stolen from like that before, and it was embarrassing because there were so many people around and they just watched. It was kind of just awkward. I don't know, man. If it were me and I saw that happen to someone else, I would wait for the guy to leave. That's fine, whatever. But I would go up to the person and be like, hey, are you doing okay? No one did that. They just kind of watched. It was not a good experience. Eventually my friend came by. We played for a little bit. That was actually the last time I played in the subway. I told other musicians about this and their response was just like, oh yeah, that's normal. That happens all the time. And it's just kind of messed up that it's a norm. The TTC is basically Gotham right now. There's a lot of assaults, there's a lot of attacks, and you know, like most of the time it's targeted stuff. It's like gang shit or whatever. A lot of the things in the TTC are just random people getting attacked, and that's kind of messed up. But that is a rant for another time. So yeah, those are the main reasons why I'm not auditioning again this year. I hope this video was insightful, it was productive. There are some other points that musicians brought up to me. I'm gonna be putting them in the description below if you're interested. So yeah, not really sure how to end the video, so I'm gonna just do some ASMR with this old license of mine. I hope you like it. I hope you feel the tingles. Okay, I'm done.